Alrighty, what's up guys? Mr. Meow here. Really excited for the new season of Apex. Season 8 is here. All the map changes, the new legend, fuse, new gun, 3030 repeater, it's all here. So let's get started. I'm going to go over everything that we have so far and my playthrough experience of the season to this point. Alright, so being honest with you guys, this season's really fun. They added a lot of really interesting changes, a lot of fresh content. I'm really excited for all of this. I love it. Kudos to Apex and their dev team. This season has had a great launch. I love everything about it so far. So, first thing we're going to cover is the meta changes, the weapons. So, the weapons have been slightly altered in different ways. The alternator does a little bit more damage. The vault does one less damage per shot. There's some small changes here and there, but the big thing is the 30-30 repeater. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this gun is really good. Powerful from really far. It is just so good. I'm really surprised that they dropped another weapon that's just going to completely change the meta. When they released the Volt, it took over the game, and it's kind of just been the go-to close range option for most players. The 30-30 repeater, I think, is set to do the same thing. I haven't played a game where everyone isn't using it, and it lasers people, it blasts people, it's really powerful, very precise. You can use it from extremely far ranges. It's literally a G7 Scout that hits harder and shoots a bit slower. Now, this weapon, you can charge it. It's not a long charge, it's literally 2 seconds. You literally just charge it for 2 seconds and it gives it a damage buff. And it's a pretty significant damage buff, like maybe 20-25%. So if you hit a charged headshot, hit for 100 damage. That's pretty good. And it's like 70, 80 to the body, 60. I was in the firing range messing with it. You see here, I kind of just tested out the damage drop and the body shots compared to headshots, the charged shots versus non-charged shots. It charged 100 to the head pretty far away. So if you hit 2 headshots, you down someone instantly, unless they have red armor. That's pretty nuts. And the gun, you can just blast people. It only takes 2 seconds to fully charge, which is not very long at all. Has a pretty decent rate of fire at long to mid range. This weapon, I think, is poised to kind of just take over for this season. It's going to replace a lot of range for some people. I mean, people are going to prefer snipers, but this is a very powerful option. Hitting for 100 and it shoots faster than your average sniper, shoots a little bit faster than a triple take, and it hits a lot harder. And again, so far in the season, my gameplay in pubs and ranked have been dominated by 30-30 repeaters. Everyone is using them. The gun is powerful. It takes a little bit to get used to hitting your shots with it, but it just DPSs. It DPSs fast at range, a little bit faster than a longbow, because I do notice I feel like this gun potentially could be better than a sniper. I mean, you won't get the exact precision as of a sniper rifle, but this thing, it hits hard, guys. And if you can land your shots, it just rewards you really, really well for positioning. You get height on people. You can just laser people. Even you could hit 3 or 4 body shots and knock somebody. I'm very surprised that this weapon. I didn't think it was going to be that good. Heard about it, but it is really good for people that like this style of gun. The rest of the guns I feel like are pretty much in the same place, minus the Spitfire. I do believe that the Spitfire has moved up the totem pole of gun this season. It got buffed, reload speed, damage, and all these things, but I also just feel like with everyone using the 30-30 repeaters, you can try and out DPS them speed wise at mid range. I mean, the Hemlock did get a slight nerf, but I still think those weapons are really good. I just think the 30-30 repeater is king at mid range, but the Spitfire can contest it now. And I think it moves it up just because, again, it DPS is really fast. If you get a barrel stab on that thing, you can out mid range somebody with a 30-30 unless they hit 2 headshots, which, it can happen. but it's hard if you're strafing. If you've mastered your movement, it's pretty hard to hit those headshots. But overall, I do think a lot of the weapons have been altered and rebalanced, but overall in the meta, they're kind of in the same. What was good before is still pretty good now. I just think the 30-30 repeater has really moved its way to the top and moved everything else down underneath it. I think it goes above the Hemlock for the current time just because if you can hit your shots, boy oh boy, the thing hits hard. So the other noteworthy thing that they've done to the gun meta is they have taken out gold barrel stabilizers from the loot pool, and they've added these interesting gold magazines. Now they're not really overpowered, they're kind of tricky to use. So the gold magazine does has the same amount of rounds as a purple magazine, but when you stow the weapon, it'll reload itself over time. So if you're shooting your Spitfire, you run out of ammo, you can switch to your Volt, which is what I've been doing, and then you shoot your Volt for a few seconds, and your Spitfire reloads while you're shooting, or vice versa. If you have a gold mag on your Volt, you shoot your Volt, you switch to your Spitfire, you shoot the Spitfire for 30 minutes, and your Volt just reloads itself. So you switch back to it, and it's really powerful. I love it. And it also helps with healing. If you're trying to heal, you could just stow your weapon, heal, and while you're healing, the weapon reloads itself. It's very interesting. This new gold magazine it has a skill curve to it. You have to learn how to use it. It's not as overpowered as initially I kind of thought. I thought you'd just be able to switch and switch. Like I thought you just put a gold magazine on something, you switch and switch back, and it's reloaded. It actually does take some time. It takes a couple seconds to reload, depending on the weapon. I think I don't know if it's just always a solid 6 to 8 seconds, or if it's dependent on an AR or SMG. Get a difference on the math there, but definitely very powerful. Gold magazines are really cool. Plus, it just feels good having gold magazines on both your weapons, guys. So enough about the guns. Now, KFC, baby. And if you guys don't know what KFC means, I advise opening your Twitch, looking up Greg Tiff 08, asking him, because I'm actually not legally allowed to tell you what KFC means, but Kings Canyon, it's here, it's back. I actually love the changes they made to this map. I hated Kings Canyon last season. I absolutely hated it. It was horrible. It was terrible. The bottom of the map is still kind of wishy-washy. I'm not a huge fan of it, but the top of the map, they've added a ton to it. They've made it flow. They've added a ton of loot up there. I love these changes, guys. This new map for Kings Canyon is really cool. I look forward to seeing how ranked rotations work out, but for the most part, for pubs, it's really fun to just drop up on the top of the map. There's so many places you can land. There's so much loot out there. It's really fun. So first, guys, I'm going to go over the new areas. 2 new areas, Spotted Lakes and Crash Site. Spotted Lakes is where slums used to be, and Crash Area is in a completely new area they just opened up behind Artillery. So Artillery's also been shifted as well. I do like what they did to the top of the map, because they kind of added a bunch of rotational spots, because before Artillery was just trapped at the top of the map. There was one way in and one way out, essentially, it felt like. Now they've added up a whole back area. You can exit Artillery from the back, and that's very interesting to me. I do miss the big building in Artillery, but they've actually given us something really cool there, because it opens up and it goes into Crash Site. Crash Site has a ton of loot. It's a really big place. It has a lot of repositioning because it has like height and low ground, ton of loot. But the thing I just love about that area up there is there's just less choke points. If you know somebody's camping, you could just go another way. I felt like some of the other maps, they had heavy choke points. There was like entire areas of the map that were only accessible to one spot, so people would just set up there and wait for everyone to try and rotate. And this map, it has so many avenues that you can take. If you know someone's camping a spot, you just go another way. And I like that, because I don't like the idea of choke points, because it just gives somebody a really big advantage. And it never even ends well, because everybody just fights there forever, and then it becomes this giant 5 teams trying to push through this one spot, and it's just muddy, and it doesn't feel very skilled. Now you can kind of pick and choose the fights. If you hear a fight going on, I mean, it is what it is. People third party, but you can now pick your third parties a little bit more effectively here, because everybody isn't rotating through one spot. And I really like that. I like the flow of the top of Kings Canyon. They've really just circulated everything well up there. I'm a huge fan of it. I really hope they do more changes to the bottom that are similar to the top because the bottom of the map is still just landing anywhere down there is, in my opinion. I hate the bottom. Not just because they got rid of Skulltown. They took away Skulltown and Thunderdome and they gave us nothing. They gave us kind of just nothing. Octane isn't the best to go to. It's fun, but for ranked is just bad. And I can't even get started on that, but I do love the top of the map. I like these changes. I hope to see more changes like this to make Kings Canyon better because I feel like they just ruined Kings Canyon initially. A lot of the changes they made were just poor. Also, aside from just adding those two places on the map, they actually made a lot of changes throughout the map. You'll kind of see things like, runoff, that whole little corner at the top of runoff. You actually just walk up there. There's not like a weird jungle gym to climb up to just try and get up there and rotate to what used to be slums because now slums isn't there. They actually added bones up there. There's a whole area of loot between Spotted Lakes and Runoff. The bones have been opened up there. Those are really interesting. There's a ton of stuff, in that area between Pit, Runoff, and Spotted Lakes, and I find that really interesting. And just throughout the map, the other really cool thing they've added throughout the map, they've added these little vaults all over the map. They're called explosive holds. You can only open them with a grenade, which is interesting. I find that really interesting, and I hope that they continue to just keep adding stuff like this. So you put a grenade in the door, it blows the door open, and there's a ton of loot in these vaults. It's better than the vault that we have now, where you shoot the key and you get like a gold item or two. This thing has like multiple gold items in it, and it has 8 weapons, and the weapons come with ammo. It's not like just weapons and you're like kind of scared to take the weapon because there's no ammo with it. There's actually some ammo. There's just multiple gold items. It's really cool. Most of the time I go in there, there's gold mags. I think there's like 6 or 8 weapons in there. There's 6, I believe. And it's such a cool idea. I love that they added it. And I think that's the biggest thing that they've added. They've kind of just opened and closed random things throughout the map. You guys will just find that stuff all over the place. There's a lot of cool changes, and I feel like there are a lot of balance changes because they got rid of those like little tunnels that dropped into like the death traps around the map where you used to open the little tunnel tube and you would drop down. Those things are all gone. I'm kind of glad because nobody really went down there because you were just asking to get held for maybe 1 gold item. I'm glad they got rid of them and acknowledged that they made a mistake with it. And I like that they added something really good in its place, something powerful. You're guaranteed some good items. All right, so enough about the map. Anyways, so now we're going to get into the juice, ladies and gentlemen. The legends. The meta has shifted for the legends, but overall, I still think, even with her nerfs, Horizon's still the #1 character in the game. If you guys are Horizon mains, fear not. You can still glide through the air, heal, do all your stuff, strafe in the air. It's all available. You can do your ult, wreck the team. It's still good. She's still great. Still, to me, my opinion, I don't play her, but she is definitely the best legend in the game. Most versatile legend in the game. There's other changes to some of the legends, but I don't think anything's as notable as Wraith's hitbox. Rest in peace, Wraith mains. It's bad. They don't want us playing her, so I'm just not playing her anymore. They're just punishing people because they love Wraith. They keep saying she has a high pick rate, and it's because people picked her from the get-go and they love her. But oh well, they don't want us playing the game and having fun. So I would recommend not playing Wraith anymore. Her hitbox is, they said in the patch notes, similar to Pathfinder's now, but it's just, I don't know. Her kit now is just all over the place. They've just kind of massacred her. Oh well. Another notable legend that they made a lot of changes to is Rampart. So I personally have not played Rampart even for a game, but I do acknowledge that these changes could make her viable in this current meta. So before, nobody really picked her because she would try and put her walls down and people would just shoot them and they break. They could shoot them with anything. They had 1 HP, a freaking P2020 bullet would break them while they're going up. So you can never really get your walls up. Her walls are extremely powerful once they're up. But setting them up, getting to an area, trying to set up really fast isn't as easy as it sounds. And what they've done with her character, they've given her walls some HP while they're going up. Now, They can still be sniped because they have 45 HP, so a wingman shot or a sniper rifle shot or a charged 30-30 can still break it. But on the bright side, at close range, people will actually have to focus it if they're using an R99, a Volt. You know, even a Mastiff, if they don't hit their Mastiff shot dead on, it's not going to break. So if they want to break her wall going up, they actually have to focus on it. I think that gives her an opportunity to try and set up even in combat now. I don't know how it's going to affect her in the meta. I do think it kind of makes her viable. I'm interested to see how people experiment with her. I do hope she becomes better because right now she's season 7 ended and she was hands down the worst legend. I mean, I wanted her to be good and having her on your team is really beneficial, but it's just so hard to set her up. And if you were in combat, she couldn't do anything. Like if you weren't set up already, she had nothing. Literally nothing you can do with her, and that kind of sucks. Like you can use a Spitfire a little bit more efficiently than everybody else, but that was it. Now, I think she's viable. Not to mention the Spitfire also got buffed, so I think that gives her even more options in combat because not only can she set up faster, but she's also better with LMG. Therefore, I think she is poised to be better in this map. But that remains to be seen. I guess we'll see how it plays out for the rest of season 8. Now, enough about Rampart, enough about Wraith, enough about Horizon, because the life of the party right now is Fuse. Everybody loves Fuse. Fuse is having, I think, a great launch. I see him almost on every team. I love having him on my team. I haven't had a chance to play him yet, but he is powerful. And this guy, Fuse, is built to third party, ladies and gentlemen. He is built to hear shots and launch grenades across the map. His passive to launch grenades, he is literally like Brett Favre, launching footballs out of the stadium. Everybody, they throw about 30, 40 yards. Fuse can throw his grenades literally to different areas of the map. And it's nuts. You can hear shots and just start chucking nades. He can stack 2 grenades. So this guy is built the third party. His tactical is a grenade. And he's just so versatile. Guys, Fuse is just so good. He's so powerful. If you hear shots, you get there, you see the rezzing, you can drop your ult on them, trap them, throw your tactical, and just spam them with nades. There's nothing they can do about it. Like, he is just so good. It's kind of insane. He is so powerful. It kind of blows my mind that they would introduce such a powerful character, and it's not even overpowered. He's just really cool. It's really fun to have him in because it just makes fights chaotic. And it makes things just, 1 minute a team has control of an area, the next minute there's chaos everywhere. And it's fun. I think they brought out this character really balanced. He's really strong, but he's not overpowered. But again, this guy is built to third party. Inside, he's a force to be reckoned with. Outside, you have to be a little bit more tactical with all of his stuff if you're using him like out in the open. Inside is just chaos. I don't think you really have any control of what he does inside. You're just praying. When you throw his ult inside, I don't even think you can aim the thing. It just goes wherever. You just throw it down, you pray it doesn't hurt you. But I've seen some crazy fights happen, and I've seen some crazy stuff with Fuse inside. He is really good. Outside, you can be a lot more tactical with him, but still just kind of create chaos, and I love it. Really powerful character. I'm glad they came out and just gave us a really good character. He pairs with a lot of legends. I mean, pairs with Caustic, pairs with Horizon. He kind of pairs with defensive and offensive characters. He's just really good. I really look forward to seeing how people experiment with him in ranked because I'm sure that there's some kind of broken combo that's going to come out with him. I mean, I already think he's pretty nuts with Caustic, but we'll see. People always come up with crazy things. So overall, love the legend meta, love the map meta, love the weapons meta. They've made some really precise but very good changes to the game, and I love it. I feel like this is the most balanced state we've had Apex, and I just kind of keep looking forward to playing. Now, guys, if you like this video, Don't forget to like and subscribe. I love this, guys. If you want more Apex videos, I'm looking forward to doing more Apex content. Love the state of the game at the current time. And also, if you want to watch me, I play a lot of Apex. Twitch.tv /Mr. Meow Nandez. My stats are nuts. 20,000 kills, probably 30,000 between my PC and Xbox account. I will be grinding.